Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, as promised, I'm going to use this Volcano stove today to cook I'm not going to cook bread or muffins. I'm actually going to use it to cook a pork butt that I've got marinated, all right? I'm using it to cook dinner for tonight, all right? So I'm going to kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to do a video showing you how I use this for the first time, and then I'm going to also make dinner with it. So if you can tell, it's different from when you've seen it the first time. I burned this in yesterday, so I turned on the heat pretty high, and I ran it until all the oil, residual oil from the burner down there, from this part, the heat distributor, burned off. And I also burned in my oven. As you can see, the oven here probably changed colors a little bit. Because I burned it in. Let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this thing is extremely efficient and it retains heat in that little oven extremely well. All right, I actually thought that this oven was going to burn because it was getting so hot. I had a thermometer in there and it was just getting above 400 degrees, but it held up really well. It got burned in, and I think it's going to do really well. This thing is made out of some serious new age material, I would guess. Not sure. Oh no, Victor's around here.
Where is the wood for fuel?
Not. We're using propane for this today, Victor, not wood. Okay.
What is this propane?
Propane is a gas. All right, it's actually a liquid that turns into a gas. All right, and you can use it to cook. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize, but Victor got out of his cage and he's out here. Oh my goodness. He thinks that using liquid propane is sorcery. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this on. I went ahead and I got an oven thermometer so that I can put this in there and see if we can regulate the temperature. Okay, because I don't want my temperature to go above 325 degrees when I cook this roast. It's going to take about 2 hours to cook. I don't want it to get above 325 degrees so that it can stay tender. All right, and this is what we're going to use. I purchased this today. It's a pretty nice little gadget to have. I've actually always wanted one, but I never really had a reason why I should have one, and this is a great reason to get one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start the oven, and let me show you what is entailed in starting it. Okay, first you can see that my propane is hooked up to my hose in my regulator. This is our valve to regulate the amount of fuel being delivered to the stove. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I got some comments yesterday of people saying that you shouldn't use this device indoors because of the propane. And what I have to say about that is, first of all, I'm not recommending that anyone do anything. I'm just showing you what I do. In my opinion, I don't see why it would be unsafe to use this device indoors when you're using propane. All right, as long as you're watching it, and if you're cooking it, hopefully you are watching it. All right, because I don't see what's wrong with using propane indoors. I have a range, all right, a stove that cooks off of propane, and when I turn that stove on, there is an open fire. All right, it is a controlled fire, right? And it's a propane stove. I also have my emergency backup heater, that is the non-electric one, if you guys have seen that video, that works off of propane. All right, so I'm not sure what the big deal about using propane indoors is, as long as you use it correctly and as long as you have the proper safety mechanisms in place, like for example a fire extinguisher, which I have like 3 or 4 of inside the house. I have one in the kitchen, one downstairs, and one upstairs, so 3. All right, and as long as you're watching what you're doing while this is, operating, you should be fine. Okay, so anyways, I digress. So now that this is open, all right, I've got this open full. I'm going to go ahead and open this about halfway and then bring it a little down. But I'm going to go ahead and put the camera back up as I open this so I can show you how I light it. All right. All right, so I'm going to take my grill off. And you see these slots right here? Towards the edge of these slots, the edge that's closest to the middle, right under there is the burner, okay? It's a propane burner. You guys want to see? See that? There's a propane burner right there. So let's put this back in. And I'm going to take my little torch and I'm going to just go like that as soon as I turn the propane on. So let's go ahead and do that. And it's on right now. Okay, so that was very easy. I'm going to put my grill on. All right. And I'm going to put on my oven cover. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on my oven meter. Where is this? Oh, I got it upside down. Turn it on. You guys can see it's on Fahrenheit. And right now it's 66.1 degrees. And when I grab it, you guys will see that it's going to start getting, you see that? So the temperature's going up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it on the table, and I'm going to let it come up to temperature. And I'm going to show you guys how quickly it comes up to temperature once I put this in, okay? So I'm putting this on the table. All right, I just put that in there, okay? And I've got the fuel about halfway open. Let's see if you guys can see this. Uh-oh. Almost made a mess. I'm not sure if you guys can see this because of the light. Oh, there you go. Look at that. It's already 237 degrees. All right, so let's go ahead and do it like that then. Let's see if that'll see it like that. 304, 310 degrees in there already. So what we want to do is we want to make it to where it stays around 325, 330, somewhere in that area. And this is very efficient. I have the fuel valve almost to the closed position. And there you go. You can see that the temperature is starting to stabilize. I'm going to go ahead and bring it down just a little more. And you guys probably can't hear it, but I can still hear the fuel in there. I mean the fire in there. So right now it's 394 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, and I'll be back with the pork roast. All right, so I'm going to take a couple of minutes to show you guys how I prepare my pork roast. All right, if you guys don't want to watch that, you can fast forward through that because it's pretty much the same recipe that I've used in the past. And I do believe that I have a video out there showing you how I make my, I call it pork butt. All right, so enjoy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and prepare this pork butt and get it marinated and ready to put out on the Volcano Stove / oven / grill. This here is my sofrito, and I've done a video on this. I'll go ahead and put a card on it so you guys can look it up. And as you can see there, I used my capers, a little black pepper. We're going to need some olives, some minced garlic, of course, adobo. And we're going to use something that I don't think I've shown you before. This is called naranja agria. And what this is a sour orange with a little bit of spice in there that's used as a marinade for this dish. Now, you can usually find this in your specialty stores or in the special sections in the supermarket, but I think you can find it in Amazon as well. Some mustard as well. And you'll see what the mustard is for once we get ready. So what you want to do now is you want to go ahead and put some deep cuts into your pork butt. All right, you want to get a nice sharp knife and just put some deep cuts as far deep as you can with the knife. All right, and if you hit a bone, just try to skip that area and try to get to an area where you can go as far through as you can. All right, what you're going to be doing with these deep cuts that you're making into the pork butt is you're going to go ahead and start putting some seasonings in there, and all of the ingredients that you saw me put to the side, all of the seasonings, you'll see that we put that together here in a minute. So this is going to allow this pork butt to stay nice and tender and be very flavorful from inside out. All right. And trust me, you want to do it like this because this is going to bring all of that flavor out. All right. So now you can see this is my very last piece of sofrito that I got from that one time that I made it. So this lasted me a while. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it into little cubes. All right, so it doesn't matter how big or small it is. You can even smash it up if you want to and just do it that way. But it's still kind of frozen, so I figure I just cut it into little cubes and do it like that. But as you can see, it's kind of falling apart because it's starting to thaw out also. So whatever is easier for you guys, if you want to use it thawed out, you can. All right, and as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and grab some of these little pieces here in a minute. But first I'm going to go ahead and rub some of this naranja agria, or this marinade, all over the meat. All right, you don't want to use a lot. You just want to use enough to put a nice little coat on it. And believe it or not, this is pretty expensive up here. I think I paid almost $4 for that small bottle. I think that's like a little 12-ounce bottle. All right, but it goes a long way. As you can see, I didn't use too much. I just used enough to go ahead and cover the meat in it, and I went ahead and put my fingers in all the incisions. And now, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. And now, as you can see, I'm taking my sofrito and I'm just going to stuff it in all the holes. All right, I'm just going to stuff it in there. It doesn't have to be pretty, okay? We're looking for some flavor here, and this is going to add a ton of flavor. So just keep stuffing it in these little holes here, and then obviously we're going to have to turn it around and stuff those holes as well. But once we're done stuffing these holes with the sofrito, we're going to go ahead and mix up our other ingredients. And we're going to do the same thing with them as well. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I have a frog in my throat. And as you can see, that little piece of sofrito really goes a long way. All right? It goes a pretty long way. But ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't made this sofrito yet, you really want to try it. All right? Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and leave a card with the video where I made that sofrito. So you guys can try it out. And as you can see right there, I'm going to grab some of these olives and I'm going to stuff them in the holes too. All right. If you don't like olives, you don't have to use olives. Okay, you don't have to use them. You don't have to use the capers either. However, if you want to stay authentic to the recipe, it is part of the recipe. All right, or at least, you know, this is the recipe that I grew up seeing my mom use. So this is the way I've always made it, and it's always produced pretty good results. There we go, and we're almost done. Got a couple more olives to put in there, and then we can mix up our other ingredients. And ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, there's not a lot of prep time for this, okay? I took my pork butt out of the freezer last night. I just let it thaw out overnight, and I washed it off really good before you see me start cutting into it. Now we're going to go ahead and grab some of this minced garlic. You know, a nice heaping tablespoon will do. We'll put in a little bit of pepper. It's up to you how much you put. Obviously, depending on how much you want to make, depending on the size of the pork butt, right? A little bit of capers. And ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have ever eaten capers, they have a very strong taste. So it's not something that you really want to eat on its own, but it makes a great ingredient for a spice, right? Some adobo. And we do need a little bit of mustard, ladies and gentlemen. Some people may think that this is kind of nasty, but this really does add another layer of flavor, and it just makes a big difference. If you make this and you make it without using the mustard and then make it with the mustard, you will notice a difference. And it somewhat helps to tenderize the meat as well. All right, now we're just going to take all of this and we're going to start stuffing these in the holes also. while we rub it on. So when you rub it on, you want to make sure that you get your fingers in the holes as well. All right, try to get it all in there. All we're doing here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're adding layers of flavor. And you will notice in the end result. I truly hope that you try this, because this is a really, really great dish. Normally, this dish is done with a I guess you can call it the leg of a pig. It's usually a much bigger piece of meat that we use for this, but this right here will feed our family 2 meals. This piece of meat along with some rice. So it's plenty for us. But whenever I have friends over, I go ahead and make a big one. All right. So now that you have this right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And as you can see, the temperature is stabilizing close to the 350 mark. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the thermostat out of here. I'm going to take my oven off. And I'm going to put my roast in here. And yep, the burner's still going. We're going to go ahead and put our thermometer back in there. And let's see how fast it gets up to 325, 350. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put it on speed. That way you guys can see it get up and stabilize. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like I was able to stabilize it around 350, 349. All right. And you know what? Thinking about it, I wanted it to be about 325 or so, but I think I'm going to leave it there because I'm thinking that I have this thermometer, right, on the top of this oven cover. And I'm thinking that most of the hot air is going to be up there. So it might be a few degrees lower down on the bottom. Right. So as you can see here, it's stabilized between 348 and 350. It goes up and down just a little bit. But it's using very little fuel, which is really good. Okay. You just have to get it stabilized. Took me a few minutes to get it stabilized, and it should be fine. So you'll see it going a little bit up and then going a little bit down, but it's staying around the same range. So I'm going to leave this here for a couple of hours and come back and see what it looks like. All right. So we'll see you then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is about an hour and 45 minutes since I put this in there, and I want to show you this. Let me see if you can see it. It has maintained pretty good temperatures, 317, 318 degrees, and I'm going to turn it off right now, all right, because it should be perfectly done, all right, hopefully. But we're going to go ahead and measure the heat of the temperature of the meat when we take it out. All right, and I want to show you how efficient this is. This here is the knob that you use to regulate the flame. All right, I want to show you how much further it takes to close it all the way. All right, so here I'm going to close it all the way from where it is right now. Okay, that's it. That's closed all the way. So it took that small amount of gas getting in there to keep this at over 300 degrees for a couple of hours. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, let me see if I can place my high-tech camera up here. Sorry about that. Here we go. Let me see if I can place my high-tech camera up there. I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Just a second. I got a better way to do this. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that may be new to the channel, sorry if there was a little skip there. I've said several times that this is a very low-tech channel, okay? Low-tech is about as high-tech as I can be, all right? So we're going to go ahead and take this out. And I'm not going to touch it because I'm sure that it's pretty hot. Just going to put this over here. Let me go ahead and actually place it over here. That should be clean enough right there. I'm going to take this oven off. And the oven did a great job. I'm taking a look at the oven cover. Smells like pork. Tasty. All right, and it looks good. Like I said, I burned it in a day ago, and it looks pretty good. All right, so let's go ahead and put this to the side. We're going to go ahead and grab our meat. Let me see if you guys have a good view for the meat. Yep, I'm going to take this and... Oh, man, I can hear like boiling in there, actually. I wonder if it maybe got too cooked. Ooh, very hot. Oh yeah, it's definitely cooked. Oh, that came out pretty nice. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That looks really, really good. All right, let's take a look and see if we can put the thermometer in there and see what it reads. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the thermometer, and you guys can see, yeah, there you go. You can see the temperature from there. Put it in the thickest part of the meat. Oh, good. That went all the way through. So, oh, that is very good. This is pork, too. I think I probably overcooked it. Boy, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what, for as much fuel as this thing used, you saw how small that valve was open. This thing is very efficient. I want to say that it's maybe too efficient. So yeah, definitely. So I'll let you guys know what it tastes like on the next video. So so far I'm pretty happy with this as far as the efficiency. Okay, obviously I haven't cooked with any coal or wood yet, but please let me know if you guys want me to do some videos cooking with wood and with coal, and I will. Okay, I don't want to go ahead and do these videos if you guys aren't really interested in it. I'm definitely going to do it, but you just let me know if you want me to go ahead and record when I do it, right, and upload it. One thing that I forgot to mention that this is good for, I was thinking this would make a great fire pit. All right, I think it would make a great fire pit, all right, because it'll contain fire. The fire will be down below the wood, and you'll have flames coming up. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. You know, I'm very happy with it. I'm really sorry that these things sold out so soon. It seems like maybe, you know, 10 or 15 minutes after I put the video up, or maybe more like half an hour to an hour after I put up the video and I put this up on Facebook, it seemed that they were sold out. So for those of you that took advantage of it, I'm happy for you that you did, because I think it's an excellent deal. What I am going to do is, and I'm not trying to sell you this, ladies and gentlemen, but if any of you are interested in this and want to get one, notwithstanding the price, I will go ahead and leave a link to the Amazon page for this, because they do have them in stock on Amazon. However, I recommend that you wait a while if you really want one of these and see if they go back up on sale, or if Amazon has a sale, or maybe until you build up enough credits where you can get, you know, one for a better price. $219 to me, I think it's worth it. It's just, I don't know, you know, it's kind of a lot. It's a lot of money. When I think of $219, I think of 500 pounds of rice. Okay, that's what I think of when I think of 200 bucks. It's about 500 pounds of rice. Okay, so, you know, I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys can decide. Obviously, you do what you want to do. But I will leave the link just in case you want to take a look at it, in case you do want to get one. Some people don't care what the price of things are because they can afford it. And if you can, that's great. Good for you. That's a good thing. All right. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? It is time for dinner, and I'm going to make some rice. And guess where the oil and the liquid, you know, and the broth that this made is going. That's right. I'm going to make some rice, and I'm going to put that in the rice water, because it's going to be very tasty. All right, with some black beans. Oh, I can't wait. All right, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, hey, thank you very much for joining in. And ladies and gentlemen, I say it a lot because I mean it a lot. Thank you very much for your support. I truly do appreciate you guys stopping by and spending a little bit of time with me. I truly enjoy doing these videos, and the main reason I enjoy doing them is because it's for people like you. All right, for people that are loyal to the channel, that you guys keep coming back on a daily basis every time I put up a channel. And not only that, but because of your honesty, all right, and your generosity with one another and sharing information, all right, because if anything, that's the most important thing that can come out of any community on YouTube, is the information that is shared among the community, all right, so that we can all do good with that information. All right, so thanks again. I appreciate you all. For those of you that may be here for the first time, click that subscribe button and you'll find out what a great YouTube community is about, all right, because I can tell you what, this community is a great community, all right? Love you guys. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to every one of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I'm out.